You know something? Nobody really teaches teenagers about relationships. Schools teach science, math, and history, but nobody teaches us how to deal with emotions, heartbreak, trust, or love. So most teenagers learn about relationships from social media, movies, songs, or friends. And honestly, that creates a lot of confusion. Because social media shows perfect relationships, cute couples, matching outfits, late night calls, day, thai, romantic edits. But real relationships are very different from what we see online. Real relationships are not perfect, and that's something every teenager needs to understand. A lot of people think relationships are only about love and attention, but relationships are also about respect, trust, communication, loyalty, and emotional maturity. Without those things, relationships become stressful instead of beautiful. One of the biggest mistakes teenagers make is confusing attention with love. Just because someone texts you all day doesn't mean they truly care about you. Just because someone says, "I love you," doesn't mean they respect you. And just because someone wants your attention doesn't mean they are good for your mental health. Real love is not only words. Real love is how someone treats you when things become difficult. A healthy relationship should make you feel safe, calm, respected, and understood. Not stressed, not controlled, not emotionally exhausted. And honestly, many teenagers stay in toxic relationships because they are afraid of being alone. That fear makes people ignore red flags. Sometimes people think jealousy means love, but too much jealousy can become toxic very quickly. If someone constantly checks your phone, gets angry when you talk to friends, or tries to control your life, that is not healthy. Love should never feel like a prison. A relationship should support your life, not control it. And another important thing every teenager should understand is boundaries. Boundaries are very important in every relationship. If you are uncomfortable with something, you have the right to say no. And a person who truly respects you will respect your boundaries too. They will not pressure you. They will not manipulate you. They will not guilt trip you. Because real care includes respect. A lot of teenagers also struggle with peer pressure. Sometimes people get into relationships because everyone around them is dating. Their friends are in relationships. Social media makes it look cool. People make jokes about being single, so they start thinking being single is embarrassing. But honestly, being single is completely normal. You do not need a relationship to prove your value. Your worth is not based on how many people like you. And rushing into relationships just because you feel lonely can lead to emotional pain. Sometimes people enter relationships before they are emotionally ready. And when things go wrong, they feel completely broken. Teenage heartbreak feels very intense because during teenage years, emotions are stronger. People become emotionally attached very quickly. So when relationships end, it can feel like your whole world is falling apart. People lose confidence. They stop focusing on themselves. They overthink everything. They blame themselves for everything. But heartbreak does not mean you are worthless. It means you are human. Every relationship teaches something. Sometimes it teaches you what love looks like. And sometimes it teaches you what love should never look like. Either way, you learn. And learning is part of growing up. Another big problem today is social media relationships. Social media has changed the way teenagers think about love. People compare their relationships with influencers online. They compare followers, likes, gifts, pictures, and attention. But what people post online is not always reality. Many couples look happy online but struggle privately. So never compare your life with social media, because social media usually shows highlights, not reality. And honestly, some people become emotionally addicted to attention. They think constant texting means love. They think quick replies mean loyalty. They think posting pictures together proves the relationship is strong. But healthy relationships are built offline, not online. Real relationships are built through trust, communication, honesty, and emotional support. And communication is one of the most important things in any relationship. Many relationships fail because people do not communicate honestly. Instead of talking calmly, people ignore each other. They ghost each other. They overreact. They hide feelings. They assume things without asking. Good communication means being honest about feelings. It means listening, understanding, and solving problems together. Because attraction may start a relationship. Bình đâu way and no a besi way. But communication keeps it alive. And another thing teenagers need to understand is self-respect. Self-respect changes everything. When you respect yourself, you stop accepting toxic behavior. You stop begging for attention. You stop chasing people who treat you badly. You stop sacrificing your mental health for temporary love. A lot of teenagers lose themselves trying to make someone else happy. They change their personality, their style, their behavior, just to keep someone interested. But the truth is, the right person will never force you to become someone else. Healthy relationships should help you grow, not destroy your confidence. And honestly, some relationships become emotionally draining because people become too dependent on each other. It is important to love someone, but it is also important to have your own life, your own goals, your own identity, your own peace. A relationship should be part of your life, not your entire life. And teenagers should also be careful online. Not everyone online has good intentions. Some people manipulate emotions. Some people lie. Some people pretend to care just to gain trust. That's why protecting your privacy is very important. Never share private things with someone just because you trust them emotionally in the moment. Because emotions can change. And sometimes people regret decisions they made when they were emotionally attached. Protecting your future is always important. And let's talk about breakups for a moment. Breakups hurt. Sometimes deeply, especially when someone gave their full emotions to a relationship. But breakups are not the end of life. Many people grow stronger after heartbreak. Sometimes heartbreak teaches people self-worth, emotional maturity, boundaries, patience, strength. Pain can teach lessons that comfort never could. And over time, people heal. That's important to remember. No feeling lasts forever. And one of the biggest truths about relationships is this: love alone is not enough. You also need respect, trust, effort, communication, understanding. Without those things, relationships become unhealthy. And teenagers should never ignore mental health in relationships. If a relationship constantly makes you anxious, insecure, stressed, or emotionally exhausted, something is wrong. Love should not destroy your peace. Healthy love should feel safe. Not perfect, but safe. At the end of the day, relationships are part of life. People will meet good people and bad people. Some relationships will teach happiness. Some will teach lessons. But the most important relationship any person will ever have is the relationship with themselves. Learn to love yourself first. Learn to respect yourself. Learn to protect your peace. Because when you know your value, you stop accepting less than you deserve. And remember this: you do not need to rush love. You do not need to follow social media trends. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. The right relationship will never force you to lose yourself. Real love should help you grow, not break you. And maybe that's the truth every teenager needs to hear. I know and I know and know I know.